Hello everyone, it's Kate Spencer. I am the founder of Life and Soul Academy and the author of the 12 Lessons book series, which you can get from Amazon. And I'm here with some cards for the 16th of December, which is the day that Mercury has gone direct. And I have to say, I'm so relieved about that because wow, what a retrograde. And I'm still experiencing the shadow of Mercury retrograde. I've had technology issues yesterday and communication issues too, so this might take a little while to lift if you're going through that as well. I've got 5 cards here and I'm going to do a collective reading to help you this week. So pick your number now, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, or you might decide that all cards could resonate with you or any combination of. So let's get started. And the first card is balance. So interesting that we had a full moon in Gemini, and Gemini is about balance because it's about the 3D physical world that we live in, but also your spiritual self as well. And it's about creating that balance between the two, which is often a bit tricky. So there's that to consider, but as well in a practical sense, this card to me makes me think about balance in your life as we run up to Christmas. Have you got a bit of festive frazzle perhaps? Are you maybe being pulled in lots of directions and doing too much? This card suggests that you need to find little pockets of time and space in your world where you can regroup and also delegate things as well. Remember that this is a whole season and seek to find that balance, because if you reach the big day and you're totally wiped out and your tinsel is in a tangle, you're not going to experience it in the best way for you, and other people won't experience you in a great way either. So think about how you can achieve that balance in your world in the run up to the festive season. That's card 1. Card 2 is choose wisely. So this is about a decision that needs to be made. Do you have a decision that you need to make now? Or perhaps there's one coming up for you. So you can see here, there's a person sitting on the jetty and there's lots of different directions that they can go in. But to me, making a choice is always about discernment, especially if it's a big choice. Obviously, what you're going to eat today, or what you're going to, whether you're going to go onto Facebook or not, is not a big decision. This is about a significant decision. Doesn't have to be scary though, could be a really good decision. And actually, as I'm tuning into that, a lot of us are deciding our direction for the next year. You might find that you've got new year thoughts, wishes, desires, resolutions coming up for you. So it could be that. So discernment, let's circle back to that. Discernment to me is about getting all of the information that you need. So gathering everything up, and this includes practical information, your gut feeling as well. It can also be information from family and friends, an opinion. But side note, be mindful what you take in, because everyone will have a different opinion, and only take what resonates with you. And ideally, only what is from someone that is conscious. Make sure they don't have an agenda in your world. You might need financial advice, you might need professional, say medical or legal advice, but get all of your information first. And then what I do is I sift and I sort and I check it against my gut. And I put it in what I like to call the consideration pile. And I check it against my gut and I see what feels right to me. And then once I've done that, I ask intuitively and also practically and from my 3D human self what action I need to take or not. Because you might have to take some action, or the action that you need to take might be to take no action. And that's important to note as well. But from this card, you can see that once you've been through that process, there's a clear front runner. And it's also nice and calm as well, the water here. And it's sending you towards the light. So follow that fizzy feeling, that feeling of goodness, that feeling of excitement, or just the feeling that things are lining up in a positive way. And you can see as well, there's a nod here to taking flight. And it might not just be you that this is affecting, it might be someone else or other people in your world too. So choosing wisely, card 2. Card 3 is truth. This is the Justice card in a Rider-Waite traditional tarot deck. And you can see that the lady here is standing on some scales. So this can be about the truth coming out. And Mercury retrograde is often associated with things coming to light. So it might be that as we are still in the shadow, that things are continuing to come to light, or maybe they did come to light and you did find out the truth about someone or something, or maybe even the truth about yourself. It's a time as well for introspection and for us to have a look at where we need to excavate in our own personal lives as well. So maybe you found out some truths about yourself. It can also be about things leveling up on the scale. So it can be about karma being returned, and that can be good or bad, but energy being returned to you that you've sent out there. And it can also be an opportunity for you to observe it coming back in other people's lives as well. And this card can also be about signing legal paperwork and documents. So there might be something legal coming up for you and something that you have to sign. And the next card, ready, number 4, is Trapped in Fear. So in the guidebook, this card says that this prison is self-imposed. So I think for many of us, this is a mental prison or an emotional prison. And if we look, the man who's trapped here, he could turn his head and he could look at the light, and that would open up new possibilities. It would send a different frequency in. And even if you're feeling like you're in the dark, imagining or visualizing what it would be like if things improved. And I think if you are in a dark place, obviously that's really tricky, and I'm sending you love and support and cheering you on, but I'm also willing you to perhaps just shift your perception a little. So what can you be grateful for, example? And even if it's got to be something very, very basic, like the fact that you have running water, you have your eyesight, you have a friend in the world, even if it's just the basics, focusing your gratitude and sending thanks to the universe for that experience can help to lift your vibration, open up possibilities. So it becomes ironic because when we are trapped in fear and when we are trapped in a place like this, we send energy to the fact that we are stuck, we are fearful, we are scared, we don't see a way out, and that maintains that energy. So that's why I'm asking you to shift that if you can. And card 5, victory and success. So this card is, it feels like we've climbed a mountain. A lot of us might feel like that as we come to the end of the year, but it's time now to pat ourselves on the back and see how far we've come. And so many people, when you're on a spiritual journey, associate that with ego. It's not ego, it's just owning the fact that you've done the best that you could, and there'll be some wins that you can reflect on. And yes, there might be some disappointments and some losses, because that's the journey of life and that's being human. But focus on the wins, give yourself a pat on the back. And it's also saying that there is a victory at the end of this journey. So if you're hoping for a win, if you're waiting for something, some good news, this can be a good indicator of that. And it's also again about tooting your horn and being proud of how far you've come. And also look at the light here, moving from the dark into the light. So it's a fortunate time. If you pick this card, it's a great sign. So I hope they make sense. Please subscribe, please like, please leave me a comment. Every single comment, subscribe and like helps. If you feel like sharing this on your socials too, that would be amazing. And I hope that was insightful and helpful. Let me know which card you picked and if it resonated with you. Okay, lots of love. Bye-bye.